What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is Ash Brown Uncensored. On this program, I talk a little bit about everything. It may be pop culture related, but it's probably Ash Brown related. So you got to stay tuned to see what I'm going to talk about. So today's going to be a very Ash Brown feature. Very Ash Brown. And this week is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collaboration with Hello Kitty, which I'm not really sure how and or why they would cross over. But it's happening, and it's happening at McDonald's. And so it made me think about my favorite turtle. And my favorite Ninja Turtle was Michelangelo. He just was, to me, just the most fun. I loved the orange. And he was just, that was just my guy. I was like, Michelangelo's my dude. That's my dude. And so when I was about 8, I had gotten my very first set of parakeets. And so my grandfather was one of those people that was very enamored with animals. And he had actually raised pigeons in Jamaica. And so this was my first time having an animal that wasn't a fish. So this was, very much pivotal moment for me, and I was super excited about it. But my mom made sure that I understood these were my birds, and that she and nobody else would be cleaning up after these birds. And it was going to be my responsibility to feed them, to change out their water, to make sure that their salt, they had like the salt thing that they use to get like their vitamins, and also to like not necessarily sharpen their beaks, but I guess give them the nutrients that they needed or whatever. So that was going to be all me, and I was to take on this responsibility. So I said, yeah, absolutely, of course. So I got 2 parakeets. One was blue, and I named him Leonardo for Leonardo. And then the other one was a yellow greenish color, and I was like, that's close enough. That's Michelangelo. So these are my parakeets, and I was so excited to have them. I was always checking up on them, refilling their water, changing out their bowls and stuff. And so we had a great time. And I would check on them day and night when I, before I'm out leave for school. I'd talk to them, and then when I come home from school, I'd talk to them some more, tell them about my day and all these things. And I really went into that role of caregiver for these animals, because now I was responsible for somebody else's. And I was responsible, not only that, but typically I think maybe like once a month I would take their cage outside and clean their cage. Because my mom would be like, okay, they're starting to smell. You need to go and clean this. They're starting to stink. You need to take them outside, take care of it, clean them up. So I remember that I used to do that. And while I'm cleaning their cages and stuff, I had somehow indirectly trained Michelangelo to sit on my finger while I was cleaning the cage. And Leonardo was like, nah, I'm going to just hang here. I'm going to chill. But I was able to train Michelangelo to sit on my finger as I'm cleaning the cage, which I don't even know how I was able to do that or why he did that. But I just felt such a closeness with him. And I know it sounds crazy. You're talking about a parakeet, Ash. Yes, I'm talking about a parakeet, but he was my parakeet. And I loved it. I loved both of them. But Michelangelo may have been my favorite. I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. And so time goes on. And I don't know, honestly, how much time went on, but maybe close to a year or so. So I'm used to it. I'm used to taking them out and doing what I got to do. And, feeding them and everything. And wintertime, you're supposed to put like a towel over them at night so that the cold breeze, doesn't make them super cold, and they can kind of insulate a little bit better with a towel. And so what would happen was I would put a towel over them at night, and then in the morning, I would either take it off or let it sit for a little bit longer. My mom would be like, "Oh, well, I'll take it off. I'll take off the towel off the birds." But for the most part, they would have the towel off during the day. So typically when I come home from school, the towel is off and, we can just, go to town or whatever. So go to school, everything's great. So, because, at 8 years old, you're not really super duper responsible and stuff. And I may not have, no, I think I did take off the towel that morning. I definitely would have taken it off. And so I go to school, come home, and I see the bird cage has the towel on it. And I'm like, why is the towel on? So I go to take the towel off. My mom stops me and she's like, hey, let's take a ride. And I'm not thinking anything of it. Little old me, I'm like, okay, well, we take a ride. But I was like, I want to, check on the birds. I want to, make sure. So no, let's go for a ride, Ashley. So I was like, okay, all right, well, I guess we're going for a ride. So we go for a ride, and on this ride, she proceeds to tell me that Michelangelo died. I'm not sure what exactly happened with him, but he was just not with us any longer. And when I tell y'all, heartbroken, okay, into pieces. Because this was my first experience with animals that weren't fish. Had fish throughout the years. Fish die, you're flushing down the toilet. And I was like, so, what do we do? So she was driving me to the actual pet store. And we picked out another parakeet to replace. Well, he would never truly replace Michelangelo. But they had like a purple one. So I was like, I guess he'll be Donatello. And, so we kept those birds until they were no more. But when I tell y'all, that was traumatic. Oh my goodness. Traumatic. But I remember it as if it were yesterday. And I think from that point on, I didn't really try to have an emotional bond with animals like that. It may have been just because of the age that I was at or whatever the case is, but I really felt that Michelangelo was special. And that was my guy. That was my dude. And when he died, I was like, this is unreal. This is so unfair. And, so they said that, you got to get the other bird, the remaining bird, you have to get him a friend or he's gonna, not gonna last for too much longer either. So that's the story with that. But yeah, so that came to mind. When I was thinking about the Ninja Turtles, I was thinking about my Michelangelo. That was a lot. That was a lot. But anyways, take life as it is. Never waste a moment. Celebrate the days that you can celebrate. But yeah, that's basically the story of today. And do what you want to do. Don't let somebody tell you or talk you out of your dreams just because they can't see it for themselves. Just because they can't see it, that has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. Follow through with your dreams. Push forward no matter what. And keep being a beast at it. Keep being a beast. So, have a purposeful, peaceful, and productive week ahead. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for all the love and support, of course, on this show and, of course, for the Ash Said It show, which just celebrated 2,100 episodes since 2014. Self-produced recordings from all around the world, including myself. Because, I was a little bit of everywhere as a flight attendant. So, I recorded shows in the midst of those 2,100 episodes. Yeah. So, anyways, have a great week ahead. I love you guys. And if you aren't already following me on social media at OneLoveAsh, the number 1, LOVEASH. And I'll holler at y'all later. Deuces.